Okay. Good morning. Hello from Copenhagen. All right. What time is it in Copenhagen? It's got to be like early afternoon. Let's make sure we have everything working here. Yeah, okay. So, not early afternoon. Welcome from Copenhagen, Casper. All right. So we've got a couple lenses today. Hopefully I have more time this weekend than I did last weekend. The ASC Clubhouse was jam-packed, which is good and bad. It's good because that means things are coming back to normal, but it's odd to see it that full. All right, what do I need here? Make sure all my bits are working. We've got our fish cam running. Top down's working fine. All right. I don't know. So there's our first guy. I don't see any. Oh, there's. Okay. Okay. Love these streams, Richard Clark. Excellent. Have you been able to check out the nanomorphs yet? Yes, I have. I don't know what secret sauce Laowa is using, but those things are so small and so good for what they are. It's, I don't know. I can't figure it out. Let me see. Let me make sure everything's working before I get going on this lens. You're just gonna hear me clicking around for a minute here. To clarify the nanomorph thing, I've only seen the blue and amber. I haven't seen the silver version. I think the silver version was an afterthought. So they didn't have... I don't think they sent out prototypes when I was seeing them. Yeah, oddly enough, you know, they did the amber, they did the blue, and the silver was kind of an afterthought, but that seems to be what most people are leaning towards. At least as far as our pre-orders go. Okay. post this in the Cine Lens, so if any of you aren't already, I would strongly recommend joining the Cine Lens Facebook group. It's pretty active. It's kind of the place that we talk about unofficial Duclos things, other brands, product announcements and stuff. There we go. All right, that's enough promoting. Okay, so our lenses today, we've got a handful of Leica R's, starting with a 16, which I don't see often. This is nowhere near as popular as the 19mm. It still has the same built-in filter wheel. So there's your little indicator. It's on 1A, which is basically the clear. You got your yellow, orange, and blue. This one does not feel great. It's getting snagged on something. You got a lot of looseness there in the body. Lots of backlash. When I hold just the rear and I move the focus, I don't know if you can hear that. So it's not terrible, but it just means that it's been pretty heavily used. And it's not getting a front ring because there are no filter threads. Just this scalloped part, so. I don't think we ever made a solution for that. We'd have to trim this down. If we put anything beyond this scalloped edge right here, it would vignette, so. But I believe it's getting everything else. Full mod. Yeah. So this will get focus gear, declick, and mount conversion. That'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Okay. I guess I should dive in here. And where's my... There we go. I don't know if you guys can hear the air running. We got half staff here today on a Saturday. It's about 5 technicians here. What's going on here? Had some guck on it. That's the technical term, guck. I also don't like this cap. If you look at the profile, it's kind of bulbous. So when I put it down, it has that wobble. So I guess I could just leave the cap off while I'm working on it, but that leaves that you know, the scalloped edge is so large, it's not stable at all. So, not really a good solution there. Oh, let's start with so anyways, yeah, there's a handful of technicians here on Saturday. So you might hear some of the tools running, some of the, like the air compressor. I hear something right now, but I have no idea what that is. I don't know if you guys can even hear that. It almost sounds like a power drill, which is not normal for lens service. Okay. For anyone that's new here, so this office that I do the mod stream from is my engineering office. It's not really meant to do this sort of work, but my tools are all in here anyway. Our actual technician area, where all 10 of our technicians sit, is just through 2 doors to my left. So when they're working, they're not that far away. You can hear them pretty easily. And then, so all the technicians are there, and then straight ahead of me, behind the wall that I'm staring at, is our machine shop, or our warehouse area. So I'm between both departments. Hello, Chubby Emu. Oh, I remember it. Chubby Emu, yeah. Welcome back. So anyways, the point being, it's almost impossible not to hear something between those 2 locations in the building. None of them are terrible, with the exception of there's an air filtration system hooked up to our bead blaster. So all the aluminum parts that we manufacture go through a bead blasting process, and the setup for that uses sort of a vacuum system that filters all of the air that goes through the system, so that it doesn't pollute the air in the warehouse. And that vacuum system is the loudest, most obnoxious thing you can imagine. Okay, this grease looks pretty old. It's pretty dried up. Actually, it's not bad. It could definitely be worse. Happy setter. Oh, Jordan. Hey, Jordan. The mod streams are back for now, as long as it still works with my schedule. Jordan, have you guys moved yet? I don't know if that's something you could talk about publicly, but I haven't gotten an update in a while. There we go. Did about 3 weeks ago. Very cool. Yeah, having relocated a lens service shop several times, I know how badly that can affect your productivity, so I sympathize with you. But it's good. It's growth. We've outgrown this space here. We've been in this building, I think a little over 10 years. This is absurdly relaxing. Thank you, Taylor. I agree. It's almost time for a new squeeze bottle here too. Jeez. It's leaking too much air. I don't know if you can see all the cracks on it here. Oh yeah, you can. I've been using this same bottle for 20 years, so it's almost time to replace it. There's some spotty residue on here that's gonna be a little concerning. Yeah, this lens definitely had some kind of, maybe someone dropped some food in it or something sticky. But yeah, there's some stuff caked on here. Much better. So this lens is not as common as the 19 millimeter. Optically, it's not as good. It's got a lot more aberrations, a lot more flaws. And one of the other reasons, where is it? So everyone always gets all fussy about Leica lenses, the German Leica lenses, and then, I don't want a Canadian Leica lens. This one really throws them through a loop. Made in Japan. So it's not German, it's not Canadian. But people have their preferences. I've expressed many times on the mod stream and elsewhere that the made in Germany thing really doesn't matter. Okay, that's good. Time for grease. That's number 5. I don't know where my number 3 is. I don't know if today is the day we announce some new products. No, probably not. I don't think they're actually active on the website. Nope. So we're not announcing anything today. Oh well. Okay. I gotta keep checking on the fish cam, make sure it's still working. Hello, Matthew. Do you have any relative in France? My mother name is Duclos as well. Oh, nice. I am sure that I have relatives in France because it is a French name. Most of my family is from Canada, French Canadian. But I have no doubt that there's plenty of Duclos, or as we call them here, Ducli. I'm sure there's plenty of them in France, so very cool. I've never actually met. Oh no, sorry, I take that back. There's a Ryan Duclos who is a photographer. I think he dabbles in cinematography as well. I met him at Cine one year, and we just know that we're related somehow because there's a lot of like distant aunts and uncles or something like that. But yeah, we've never like actually traced common family, but it's, yeah, very, very possible. Have you heard any rumors of the new Sigma Cine full-frame zoom on the horizon? Hoping for roughly 24-70. There's a huge lack of affordable full-frame Cine zooms on the market. I agree. There's a pretty big gap. You've got a lot of really, really good full-frame Cine zooms, like the Fujinons. Even the new Canon is really good. Not great, but good. Cook and their Veritol, Zeiss and the compact zooms. There's a lot of high-end options. And then you've got stuff like Chi-Opt or DZO that are like the low end in terms of image quality. So somebody needs to fill in that middle ground. That 10K-ish, so like somewhere between 5 and 10K for a full frame zoom. So there's definitely opportunity there. But as far as Sigma specifically, I will remind everybody here, if I did know, I would definitely be under NDA and I couldn't tell you anything about it. Not specific to Sigma, but like any of the popular lens manufacturers. As far as affordable Cine zooms go, Nick, have you looked at the DZO Katas? They are full frame, they are very affordable. See, there goes the air. To you guys, it probably just sounds like static or white noise. Do you anticipate a slowdown from your end on supply with German lens manufacturers? Is it harder to get lenses from them? Yes and no. There's really, I mean, when you say German lens manufacturers, there's like one. Leitz is pretty much the only one that's still manufacturing in Germany. Zeiss still does some. Like their Supreme Primes are made in Germany. But a lot of the components of those lenses are outsourced to other countries. Zeiss does a lot of work with Japan. Leica does a lot of work. They've got factories in, I can never remember, somewhere in South America. Leica has a huge factory that does a ton of their manufacturing. Leitz has always been kind of slow though. That's not really, I mean, as far as their cinema stuff goes, they really bank on that demand. This feels great. I'm very happy with that. After so long, I'm late again. Welcome, Damien. You're not too late. We've only been here for about 30 minutes. Okay. That's all clean. I wish the DZ Okata 35 to 80 could get a bit wider, at least 20. Yeah, that's the problem though. That's the there's a pentagon diagram that I made years ago for a lecture that I used to do. I mean, I still do the lecture, not that portion of it though, for a bunch of film schools. And the pentagon showed all of the lens design compromises. So you've got image quality, size, price. I can't even remember the damn. Actually, I wonder if I have it here. Might have been before I switched from Mac to PC. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay, so it's image quality, speed, price, zoom range, and then size and weight. So in the case of the Kata zoom, they settled on 35 to 80. If you want more zoom range, something else has to give. So it would have either cost more, it would have been bigger and heavier, it would have been slower. So it's a compromise. It's always a compromise. And if you want more zoom range, then you have something like the Fujinons or the Canons. I've seen the retros. I have not actually put them on a camera and shot anything with them. I believe, I don't know this for sure, I believe the ones that I saw were not actually functional models. I think they were just prototypes. Or not even prototype, but like a display model. Okay. These little guys, come on. These are like the tiniest flatheads. These are the parts that always break because people over tighten them and it snaps the plastic. I don't know if I'm excited for the retros or not. Like I said, I haven't seen their actual image quality. I've seen some content shot with them, which is, yeah, I think, very nice. But I want to stress test them. I don't know if they're going to be like the Tokina Vista 1s, where they're just a tad detuned, or if it's going to be like Sigma, where they went all out and they made a really, really unique lens, or if they're going to be somewhere in between. Thinking about biting the bullet, getting a Zeiss 28 to 80, or cropping my V-Raptor to S35 and get a Zeiss 21 to 100. 28 to 80 is nice. It's really nice. And you can find them used pretty reasonably priced. The 21 to 100 is not bad. It's definitely a compromise in and of itself. It's a really nice zoom range, which is the plus side. The downside is it's pretty long. It's very front heavy. The speed is a little bit low, and the ramping, how it ramps throughout the entire zoom. Some people aren't a huge fan of that. Hey Phil, welcome aboard. 21 has that one-stop drop. I like that's how I should market it, the one-stop drop. Which makes me cry at night. Yeah, Phil is a big proponent of the 28 to 80, I believe. And this will go right back into circulation. All of our bags get recycled. That's why I have bags, all my other bags, just bags of bags, because we reuse them all. I hate packing material waste. Which is why pretty much every product that we sell comes with reusable bags. So I strongly encourage that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could put in a little baggie, you know what I'm saying? That was a struggle, actually, recently. Okay, it's not on the website yet, as I shouldn't be telling people, but so this is one of our latest products, our service tray. And when we were coming up with the packaging for it, there was a lot of stuff that people were pitching us that was completely non-recyclable. Like, you'd open it and tear it into trash and it's gone. And we ended up going with it's like a little bubble pouch that is supposed to be, you're supposed to like tear off the adhesive and stick it. So then once it's stuck, when you open it, it's trash. So we just decided instead of doing that, we'll just not seal it. And then it goes in a box as well. So when you get that, you can easily just repurpose that little plastic wrapper for something. Anyways, I probably shouldn't have mentioned that because it's not on the website, but yeah, that's our latest. And I can't show you the bottom because it's I've got stuff in it now, but I'm really happy with how these came out. Oh, I need some thread locker here. Maybe not, because this is going to go for collimation, especially such a wide lens. So we'll just put the screws in it for now. Well, I didn't ask anybody. How's the audio sounding today? That was kind of a mess last week. Hey, glad these streams are still going. I mean, they're just back. I wouldn't say they're still going. Thoughts about the new GL Optics Minolta Rocore rehousing. Look forward to using them. I already have them in EF full set. GL has come a long way since their original rehousing work. They're still not going to stand up to something like TLS or Zero Optic, but they have improved significantly. I just realized this screw kit, or this mount kit, is short one screw. Unless I missed one. Nope. Oh no, I did miss one. It's in there. I can't count today. Sounds great. Love the fish. Yeah, so I'll recap on that. I explained it last week because that was an addition to the mod stream since last time we streamed. The last stream prior to last weekend was like almost a year ago. So we did some upgrades to the mod stream, including the audio, which was an issue last weekend, but apparently it sounds good now. That's good. Oh, I did count them. Oh, one of them skipped into the other dish. That's why. Ha! When I dumped them out. So the fish cam, that's our aquarium in our lobby. So anyone that's been actually, physically visited our shop would recognize that. The lenses in the fish cam are 100% real set of Zeiss super speeds. And before you think that we're just wasting a set of very rare, very expensive super speeds, they were sent to us by a customer that had recovered them from a flooded basement from a hurricane. So they sat in salt water, submerged for like 2 weeks. So by the time they got to us, they were completely seized up. There was no saving them whatsoever. So we offered them a price and said we're going to use them as a display piece. And they accepted. So they've been underwater now for, I really should look at the date, but probably almost 5 years. They've been fully submerged in that fish tank. What's the best way to remove small stripped screw? Talent and skill. Honestly, Noah, the best way completely depends on the conditions. There's a lot of different types of screws. There's a lot of different ways the head can become stripped, and there's no one way to do that. But it does happen often. Not by us, but we see lenses come in because they have been stripped. So it really depends on the type of screw and the particular situation. But skill does have a lot to do with it. You really do need to know how to feel that screw, how to be able to feel when you're making progress or making it worse and making it more difficult to strip out. Yeah, there's a lot of techniques, whether it's slotting in a new slot to get just enough bite, if it's a Phillips head screw and just the Phillips head itself is stripped out, you can usually sort of persuade it enough just to get enough purchase on it. If the head itself is snapped off and it's below the surface, then that becomes really difficult. If there's some of the thread still sticking up, then you can usually get in there with some pliers, maybe some heat to heat it up, some acetone to loosen up the thread locker. So there's a lot of different techniques. Yes, Phil. Sort of. Like I said, the techs are just on the other side of that wall, so when they're doing the louder compressor, you guys don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it, but it's part of the job, so. Leica R's will always be popular. I don't know where they're coming from anymore. I'm every day I'm amazed that more and more show up. With the focus on FDs in recent years, I think many overlook how special they are. I don't know, man. I think from the YouTube scene and the people that are, really trendy, I think you're right. I think FDs get all the attention, and like ours are not as popular. But I can't even. If I really should have. If I could go back in time and start counting the Leica R's that we've modded, it's got to be in the. Maybe in the tens of thousands. It's insane. All right, that one's done. So it's not that the Leica R's aren't popular, it's just maybe they're not talked about as much because FDs are just insane. Which one's next? What is this? '28. Version 1. See, I mute for stuff like this because nobody wants to hear it. That's terrible. See, these are the kind of packages that I was talking about. We were getting pitched hard on this type of thing, which is kind of reusable. You could like flatten it and then the sticky still kind of works, but who's going to use this? I don't like this. This is not our packaging. Hey Johnny, welcome back. Good to see you as well. This one has a loose focus stop. I can feel it and almost hear it. Listen here, when it gets to the end. Oh, that was the iris. Oh no, we got spam. Hide this person. There we go. Your weekend is fulfilled. I'm glad I could provide that for you. This one's also not going to be a super long one. Last weekend I had to rush over to the clubhouse. And this weekend, we're celebrating my daughter and my wife's birthday. Yeah, it's in okay shape. It's probably hard for some of this to show up. Let me refocus this here. But like there's some marring on the surface there. This pin is a little bit bent. Let me show you from the side there. It's kind of hard to see from here, but it's definitely been impacted a little bit. Now I gotta find focus here again. What else? It's got a little ding on the iris ring there. A little bit of brassing on the mount. Not much. So it's definitely in good shape, not great shape. Happy burps to the secret agents. Johnny, you gotta read up in the comments. I've seen the Vespid retros, but only the physical housing. There was no usable optics. Or I haven't seen any. I haven't had a chance to put the finished product on a projector on a camera. So I have no feedback aside from what I've seen DZO release. By the way, happy birthday. Thank you again. Yeah, the kids are definitely growing up fast. That was part of why I paused the mod streams for most of this year. We definitely wanted to spend as much time with them as we could, because they're not slowing down. Yeah, the focus stop is loose. I thought maybe it was the inner focus mechanism hitting that plastic baffle, but it's not, because I took the baffle out. So it's just a little loose. It's not a problem. It's just something I would want to keep an eye on. Anyways, yeah, the mod stream is back. There's a lot of little things that I want to consider doing with it. Aside from just mods. Oh, I forgot to change the... There, our current lens banner is accurate now. The fish did not remind me. But yeah, we're going to consider doing maybe some news roundup things like the Vespid retros, new products, things like that. We considered doing lens hunting. We did that a couple times last year when I was building out my set of Mamiya Secors. So I thought about just spending 15-20 minutes on each mod stream hunting down a lens. Something that I need to add to my collection. I shouldn't say need. Nobody needs to add to a collection. Something that I want to add to my collection. Oof, this one's a little rough. Yeah, that grease, that's pretty messy. There's two things I see wrong. One is how dirty the grease is, and then, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see this without refocusing. I don't know if they even show up with a refocus, but there's like oil spots around the grease, which means it's breaking down. There you go. See those spots? Right here. There's like little puddles, little pools of oil, which means the grease is breaking down, and that's how you end up with things like oil on your iris blades. I've recently switched to the L mount for a specific project requiring B-RAW delivery. Any opinion about the Leica SL lenses versus the Panasonic primes? Personally, I don't like any of those for motion picture work. If you're using an SL with the L mount, I would just get an adapter and use whatever you want. In fact, oh, I forgot to refocus. I probably should get a new lens on this thing that does autofocus. I don't know if that's accurate now. Let's see. I need a miniature focus chart right there. Yeah, I could use that. There we go. Good enough. So, truth be told, there's 2 cameras that are running right now. Well, 3, if you count the fish cam. The face cam, the one that's pointing right at me, is a Sigma FP with an L mount. And I could put whatever lens I want on there because it's L mount, super shallow, and I could put an adapter. I've got my Kip-On, my Bev Eyes speed booster goes to L mount, which is awesome for my Miyas. And then the top down one is just a Sony with an E mount, so I could put anything on that as well. So I do love the L mount. I love the L mount Alliance. I've got a ton of L mount glass, mostly from Sigma. But I don't really like the Leica or the Panasonic lenses for motion picture work. I don't like the electronics. I don't like how the focus works. They're kind of manual, but they're still fly-by-wire. Thanks for bringing these back. My pleasure. Thank you guys for coming back. That was when I started it up last weekend. I thought, I wonder if anyone's actually going to show up. So this is, you guys have made it encouraging. Or I should say, you have encouraged me. Jasper says, Matthew, what are your thoughts on the new Lights Hugo and Gecko Cam Genesis G35? The Lights Hugo, I think, are going to be awesome. It's just the same M glass they've been using for a while. So nothing crazy there. Everyone should know what to expect out of the image quality. It's not new glass. It's the same as the M lenses, which got repurposed into the M 0.8 lenses, which is now being repurposed into the Hugo primes. And thankfully, respectfully, Leica did not try to play the Hugos off as some new optical design. They openly admitted that they are based on the same optics. Which is good, because I would have called them out right away. The G35 Gecko Cam, that one's a little tricky for me. Gecko Cam they've done really well with those housings, but the optics in those are not what they claim. Or at least they're not being entirely honest about what the optics are in those. Oh man, we're full of bots today. Okay. Photo zooms are not really for motion picture work, unlike primes, I guess. Even still, primes are not ideal for motion picture work. Zooms even more so, because there's a lot more variables. But I don't even like the primes for motion picture work. You're gonna constantly be hunting for focus. You're gonna miss shots. You're gonna, yeah. I don't like it. I don't like lenses that use autofocus motors to achieve manual focus. I want a direct one-to-one control. Those lights lenses are going to be a big hit if they would sell them separate, not only. Yeah, that was actually really confusing when they launched them. They didn't make that super clear, and we put them all up on our website individually. And we had to end up emailing customers saying, haha, sorry, it's actually just the set, period. And then you can add, you can fiddle with the 50mm. You can choose to swap out the Summilux for the Noctilux. Summilux for Noctilux. But you had to get the full set, which was not clear to us. So that was a little bit of a bummer when we had to email customers back and say, sorry, you need to buy the full set. How many in the Hugo set? I think it's 7. And then if you want the Noctilux, it brings it to 8. Is there a product that can be used on rubber focus zoom rings to bring back the finished look after they become chalky? Oil? You can temporarily fix them with oil. You can use like furniture polish, or honestly something simple like Tri-Flow. You can put it on a brush. It's just lubricant, but it's temporary. As soon as this dries up and evaporates, it's going to go back to being chalky. Have you seen any footage from the Light's LC primes? Footage I have not seen, but I have tested them on a technical basis, and they're fantastic. Really, really nice lenses. An under-discussed topic is how bad short throw lenses are when landing. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's terrible. That's the difference between video and cinema, in my opinion. If you have to hunt for focus and it's always, going in and out. I mean, it became a look. It became a style. If you look at shows like The Office, where they intentionally hunt for focus, it's meant to look like a cheap run-and-gun budget production. Whereas cinema is precise. It is what it is. It's always accurate. To clarify on someone was asking about the Genesis G35 lenses. I don't want to get into another Solera situation. Manufacturers are very touchy when I accuse anything like that. There's a couple current companies that would be furious if I openly talked about what their lenses were, even though it's really not hard to figure it out. So I will follow that up by saying I don't have any facts about the G35 lenses. It's purely speculation. I don't work for GeckoCam. I don't have any insight into their their company. So yeah. I gotta either stop talking about them entirely or cover my ass, because not Gecko Cam. Gecko Cam has always been friendly. They're great people. But other companies have been not so friendly as of late with their legal threats. Okay, that's clean. Everything looks good. It's almost time for more coffee. There's 4 sets today that I can think of that are rehoused glass of some sort. Actually modify with an additional optic. That doesn't make it a different lens. I tested the vintage G35 and it reminded me a bit of the Sigma Classic. It's not Sigma, I'll tell you that for sure. The glass in those is not Sigma. I've been looking at getting an actual Cine lens set. I've seen reviews done separate. I've done some researching, but what is your opinion between Meike, Cine, and TZO? That's hard. Personally, I would say DZO's gonna be a better bet. Not just from the image quality perspective, but also from the company support perspective. DZO has done a really, really good job of adapting to the Cine market and supporting the Cine market, which to me is pretty important. Once you jump up to a proper Cine lens and you're spending that kind of money, having that post-sale support makes a big difference. And I appreciate their consistency. I need to do more side-by-side tests. Actually, maybe Phil can chime in here. Phil and I were going to do a side-by-side test, but I I took too long. He did it anyway. But I want to publish an actual one-to-one test between those two, because we get that exact question a lot. I just realized this is on auto exposure. Look at that. I had no idea. This camera wasn't even set up a month ago. I had to take it back from service department that was using it for other stuff. I was leaning towards DZO. I like the look and size. Yeah, that is really nice. Thoughts on Do Lens? Thoughts on Do Lens. If I had a nickel for every time someone came up to me at Cine Gear and said, "Oh, can I see that Do Lens?" I said, "That's not us. We're Duclos. Lens is." I'd probably have 20 cents. I think they're cool. I think they look great. I think the size and weight is phenomenal. I've only seen them paired with the Schneider anamorphic. I haven't had a chance to play with them without the anamorphic. But based on the images I've seen them put out, I think they're pretty cool. The gears could be better. That was my observation, Phil. If I had the money, I'd get size CP3. No, Johnny. If it's between Vespids and CP3s, unless you're looking for a cleaner image, I don't know. It depends on what you're going for, but the price difference between Vespid primes and CP3 primes is significant. You have to really want that CP3 look over the Vespid look to justify that. These Yodas. I mean, don't take my word for it. You gotta test them. Can you get your hands on them? And if you're in CP3 price territory, then you should definitely consider options like the Sigma primes and even the Rokinon Zine CF. Cannot wait for the Sigma 65. Yeah, that's... I can't believe how long we've all been waiting for that focal length from Sigma. I don't know what else they could produce. They've really sort of done everything else. Maybe an 18. I was leaning on getting them anyways. They both make it and DZO really. Yeah, okay. If you are already leaning towards DZO, then yeah, I will give you the confidence that you need. You know where to get them though, right, Johnny? The best place to buy cine lenses. This one screw is like barely magnetic. Oh, you're not in the CP3 price. Okay. They could add 200. I don't know. That would be a hard sell for them. I've been poking manufacturers to replace the Canon and Nikon telephotos of our industry. So when I was coming up, when I worked at Keslow, every car commercial and nature thing, whatever, had a Nikkor 200, 400, 800, whatever, on the job. And as far as I know, they're still in circulation. Nobody has made a modern cinema telephoto. Not that the Nikon was a cinema telephoto, it was just a PL mounted photo lens. But nobody has made a modern version of that. So I've been pitching that to all the manufacturers, all the usual suspects. But it's a hard sell. It's not a high volume lens. The Mamiya lens hunting streamer. Oh, good. Thank you, Casper. That I was just saying a couple minutes ago that's something I do want to bring back as sort of a segment of the mod stream. Yeah, the newer Canons are difficult because they have so much electronics. You'd have to lock down the IS, which requires some pretty accurate tuning. You can't just say, okay, there. You have to find that true axis and lock down the IS. Do you still own and enjoy? Absolutely. They're right behind me. They're on the bench. Right. There's 4 of them right there, and the rest of them that are still being remounted are actually just to my right here, off camera. I don't think I'll ever get rid of my Muse. Someone was asking about them. I can't remember who it was, but someone we considered for a second selling them, but I don't think I will. I love those lenses. I learned my lesson with my Leica R's. When was that? Had to be like 12 years ago. I don't know if I've ever told that story on the stream. Maybe I should. I had a very, very special set of Leica Rs. So I'll dive into it real quick. I must have told this before, but I'll tell it anyway. So Dalsa Camera, the Dalsa Digital was one of the earlier digital cinema camera companies. And when they were starting out, they decided they needed lenses to go with their camera. And they tapped Dan Sasaki to sort of head up that project. And Dan decided that the Dalsa Primes were going to be rehoused Leica R lenses, which were still kind of new at the time. I think they were still in production for some of them. And so they bought a ton of Leica Rs and they cherry picked them. They basically kept kept the best that they had and sent back everything else. And so they had a bunch of Leica Rs that they were rehousing, and the company pulled the plug on the whole rental business. And the Dalsa Primes that were rehoused are now circulating. They all got sold off by another company, so you can still find Dalsa Primes, which are PL mount Leica Rs. There's probably, I don't know, half a dozen sets out there or something like that. But when they were selling off all the assets, they had all of the lenses that hadn't converted yet just sitting in their boxes. So they were cherry picked by Dan Sasaki slated to be converted to these Dalsa Primes and never actually used. And so we looked through those sets and cherry picked from the cherry picked lenses. And that was our set of Leica Rs for a long time. Not a long time, a couple of years. And at a certain point we decided we weren't a rental business and wanted to, stop trying to pretend to be a rental business. So we sold them off, and we got a okay price for them, but it was before the big boom that you see these days. So it was nowhere near what we could have gotten for them. But I just regret selling them at all, regardless of the price. I own a set of Leica Rs, love the look, struggle sometimes with the speed and the wide. Yeah, that's always going to be a challenge. Thinking of rehousing them. Nice. What would you advise me to look into in the 7 to 10K per lens price? That's a healthy price per lens. I was offered a set of Dalsa in 2000s for 3K. Oh man. Yeah. That was like us with super speeds back in the early 2000s when super speeds were basically paperweights. We'd get a full set of super speeds in and we'd tell the customers, okay, it's going to be, I don't know, a couple thousand to overhaul the whole set. Full tear down, full clean and lube. And they'd say, it's not worth it. You want to just buy them? I say, no, we don't have any use for them. They're just going to be door stops. So. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't know why we're getting so much spam today. Anyways, back to your question, Jasper. In the 7 to 10, let me look here. 7 to 10. I mean, the Hugos, if you're not in a rush, because those are, I mean, those are going to have that same character as Leica R's, and they're going to be fairly fast. But the widest that goes to 21, and that's a T15, which means it's an f1.4. So, what else would make sense here? If you're looking for some character, two things come to mind. One is the DZ of SP Primes, which is way cheaper than what you're looking at for price, but that's not a bad thing. And then potentially even the, what are they called? The Vega lenses from TLS. Those have a pretty decent amount of character, and they're going to fit right in that price range, I think. Where do those come in at? Yeah, that just barely fits in there. Those are about 7,000 to 9,000 a piece. Not particularly fast. The 20mm is a T2. The rest of them are T15 until you get to the 135, which is a T2. Those are Nikon glass. Yeah, that's kind of what gives them their character. They're not purpose-built cinema lenses. They're rehoused. And then aside from that, Cooke Panchro Classics, but that's a little outside of that price range that you gave. So yeah, those are my quickie recommendations. Anything else that's in that price range is going to be a lot cleaner, like the Sigmas or the Tokinas. Those will fit really well in your price range, but it's going to be a very accurate, very clinical look, not like the Leica R's. The fish cam is acting up. It keeps glitching. I actually need to give that a good overhaul. Oh, actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna switch. I gotta add the microphones. Bear with me for 1 second. There, you should be able to hear me now. So there's the full screen fish cam. So we have right in the middle there, in the back, that's the lonely gourami, and then the rest of them are called white mountain minnows. And then there's a couple, not many. I think there's 2 or 3 ghost shrimp that you'll see wandering. Actually, he's right there, right in the bottom right corner. You can see his little transparent body on the lens. But he wanders around picking stuff off of the lenses. And The camera's glitching every, like, minute, though. It's weird. Yeah, you can see him picking stuff there. That's pretty cool. Anyways, I do plan to give that whole aquarium a good cleaning. It used to have a ton of plants in it, and we took them out because they were getting a little dingy. Teleporting fish. Hey, it's Halloween. Alright, this looks nice and straight. Very happy with that. I was working on a photography shop in a neighbor's store. I had his leftover father's lenses. So I blurted out. Those are rare. Oh, bummer. That's good though. You don't want to scam anyone out of lenses. Yeah, and I've been doing lenses my entire life. So every time a family member or like a friend of a family member has some camera or something that they found in their basement, they always bring it to me. Oh, you want to? Well, I don't really do cameras, but I'll still help them. And there's been a couple occasions where someone has had something that's very valuable, and I'm compelled to tell them, hey, you should really bring this to someone. In fact, that was one of the, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but one of the Kubrick lenses that I had in my possession for a while, it wasn't a Kubrick, it was a Zeiss 50mm 0.7, sorry, f/0.7, the one that was used for the Kubrick lens. And the way it came to my possession was the woman that had it in her possession. It was her father's, and she didn't really know what it was worth, but she had known that I had one previously, so she was asking me for help. And if I was a shitty human, I would have said, oh yeah, this is just some old lens, I'll buy it off you for $5,000, whatever. But I immediately told her what it was. How did you get this? Where did you get this? And she was very reluctant to give me more details. But after I told her its importance specifically to the motion picture industry and the lens industry, she elaborated more that her father was involved in the Dark Sky Society, and it was one of the genuine NASA models, not one of the Kubrick models. So I helped her. I connected her with Leica Auction House, and they got her the best the best price it could have fetched. He gave you 10%. Nice. There you go. See? What goes around comes around. I don't know that karma is the term that I subscribe to, but I do believe that you get what you give. That is, aside from a nice, solid, well-lubricated end stop, this is probably one of the most satisfying sounds. That super nice thread that's really well machined, and it just sticks on there. I've been really happy with our new anodizing process. It looks so much better. We had some issues. Even on camera, you can see the slight difference between this and the original Leica color. It's much less obvious in person, but we had some major issues with our previous anodizing shop. So if any of you guys have Duclos front rings and they have like a purple tint to them, let me know and we'll swap them out, because I don't like them, so I don't expect anyone else to like them. What goes around comes around. Major respect. A lot of people would have scammed. Yeah, there's no way I would have. That lens was, it's so historic. There's 10 of them in the world. She needed to know what she had. She knew there was something special about it, but not how special it was. Maybe we'll do a lens hunting today. We got 2 of the lenses down. I got about 15 minutes left. I don't know what to buy though. There's nothing that I want right now. Now that I hear myself say that, that sounds very spoiled. Very privileged. I don't know that I can even share my screen. I don't have that functionality set up. Let's do that. Let's window shop. Good thinking, Phil. But I don't have that screen share. Hold on, let's figure this out. Yeah, I gotta re-add. I don't even know how I did this before. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. I think this will work. So I gotta add all the different, make sure we have the microphone. Oh, here we go. I found it. Let's see if this works. Kinda. Oh, that's not what I wanted. It's too big. There we go. Let's do it like that. All right. What are we looking for? What is oh, sorry, I missed a bunch of. You can go price fishing, see current rates, Alpha lens. What about the Alpha lens? Oh, prices of the lenses I'm on. Okay, let's do that. Let's check the Leica R 16mm. That's already right off the bat a pretty big price range. See, this, I never understood this. Why would an eBay auction list for Sony Fuji mirrorless? That's like 2 of the 100 cameras you could put that lens on. So a Mavo 8K on eBay had a starting bid of $6,500. Nobody bid on it. Wonder if it's, I have not ever used a Mavo camera. Couldn't advise you there. 4,000. Well, it's okay. Like in the original box, that's kind of cool, actually. So, all right, maybe this is actually worth it. I see 0 brassing on the mount. Don't ever believe product photos on eBay for glass condition. I mean, you could kind of see some stuff, but it's so easy to hide flaws on lenses in product photos. All right, that's kind of cool. It has the original warranty card. I will give it that. But $4,000? Where is it coming from? It's in Japan, of course. All of the good ones are in Japan. Where does it say? I thought it used to say how many people are watching it. Anyway. That's definitely the highest price. So another quick tip, if you're looking for the value of a lens or what it should go for, always check the sold listings. So if we searched for this, like our 16mm, go down to, where is it? I don't know. It used to be right here. Huh. I guess eBay changed a lot of their site recently. Oh, there we go. Sold items. That's what I want to see. Okay, so this is what the lenses are actually selling for. So 750. Oh, that's a 135. So these are not good matches. There's only one. That one 16mm sold for 750, and that other guy had his listed for $4,000. So here's the original listing. Oof, that is a high-res photo. I don't know if this is coming through on the stream through YouTube, but it's covered in little red fibers. So someone probably put it in one of those little velvet boxes. And there's the typical, hey, let's fix the red dot. They just slap a gob of nail polish on it. So whoever created this listing, they didn't even bother like wiping the lens off before they took the photos. Ooh, big old scratch. Oh no, that's edge paint. That's internal edge paint that has some minor damage. Yeah, see that streak there? That's the edge paint on the internal optic. Pretty good mount. Not a lot of, almost no brassing at all. Anyway, so that's the 16. Perhaps the biggest issue on eBay descriptions is the small dusts and bubbles, no impact on picture. Yeah, that is a big problem because there's no way they're actually testing it, and then if they are testing it on a camera, there's no way they're testing it in a proper technical test environment. Oh, our shrimp friend is back. Here, let me jump back here. There he is, right at the bottom. Let me adjust this one here. There you go. It's out of focus because the lens is so close, or the camera's so close. But that bottom right, that's the shrimp, just picking little bits off the lens. Good little cleaning shrimp. Anyways, what else are we looking for here? Oh, you know what I actually do need to look for is a 70 to 180mm Leica R. These are not bad prices. Around 4,000, around 5,000 is what I would want. Hey, that's not bad. The really hard part about the 70 to 180 is the mechanical condition is what's most important. Because we're going to strip it and rehouse it. So I don't care what the body looks like. Let's see what happens when we look up Duclos Cine-Mod. See what lenses are selling. Zeiss Milvitz Cine-Mod Duclos Primes. What the hell? Oh, they just put the hood on the back of them. That's weird. Okay, I see what's happening here. Yeah, those are actual Duclos Cine-Mods. So that set selling for $4,300. That's not a bad price actually. Oh, and they're F mount. Okay, so they didn't do the EF conversion. Interesting. That Zeiss Milvis has been... Oh, have you seen this before, Johnny? There we go. A Leica R. What is this? 35-28. It's not our mount. It's a Litax mount, but just as good. Okay. If you recall, a couple minutes ago I was talking about the bad anodizing batches that we had. That's it. See how it's purple like that? I will swap that out if anyone watching the mod stream has an issue like this, that purple anodizing, I will send you a new one. Anyways, they're only looking for 1200. That's not bad. Actually, that's not great either, because that's the 2.8 model. All right. Whoops. That's a classic ZF2, not a Milvis. Oh no, that is a Milvis. No, it's not. Sorry, that is classic. Again, that's a Litax mount, but that's just as good. If there's any mount that I would say is a reasonable alternative, it's Litax. They make theirs out of billet stainless steel, which is really nice, just like ours. There's really no difference. There's other mount kits that you can get that are vastly inferior, both in design and materials, but Litax is a great product. 4,500 for a 51.4. That's okay. 8,800. Oh man. So that's got the EF conversion. Oh, I like that. They did like every angle. There's an old one, I could tell. We stopped putting... Oh man, okay. Here's some more quick backstory. I know this one is very old because the very first batch of front rings that we did, this goes back like... This mod is probably almost... Oh geez. Not the mod, but that front ring. It's probably maybe like 12 years old, 15 years old. Before we had our laser, you can't really see it that well here. So we laser engrave everything in-house. We do it all. It's just on the other side of this wall at the end of the warehouse over there. But before we had our laser engraver, we had rubber stamps made, and we used an epoxy ink, and we had a jig where we would basically put the lens down, and then the rubber stamp would start at one end and roll around the front ring. And you could see that some of them... you can't zoom in here. It wasn't always a perfect stamp. It's got that little like squishy bit on the at the end of lenses.com. So this is old. This is really old. Is the whole set like that? Yep. Wow. Anyway. Brings back memories. I could do this all day, guys. I don't know if this is interesting to you at all. That's a much, much newer one, because that's the newer style with the laser engraving, the good anodizing, everything. The 15 ZF2 has dropped in price quite a bit. 690. That, well, the 15 ZF2 is a bargain because it's the same optics that are in. It's the same optics that are in the Milvus. So even the classic ZF2, it's the same image quality. Ah, see, here's a sneaky one. That is not a Duclos front ring, and it's not our focus gear. It's not our mount conversion. So why is this showing as Duclos? Maybe just the word Cine-Mod, I guess. Oh well. What I would be interested in seeing, see if this comes up. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I should start buying these up. I don't think that was a Sim-Mod gear. Sim-Mod doesn't make Delrin gear. That was probably Chord Vision. Oh, it's sold. Bummer. Yeah, that's an old one. Oh no, not too old. It's got the gold, the gold stamp, or the gold embossing. I don't know what you call it. It's a piece of plastic and they paint it gold. That's the version 2 from Tokina, not from us, from Tokina. So it's not that old. Oh, there's the serial number. Okay. Yeah, that's not that bad. If I ever find an OG, like original batch, oh, that's the problem. We're still looking in sold stuff. Yeah, see, that's a newer one. That's newer. But we stopped making these when Tokina came out with the official Tokina version. This one's pretty old. It's got the 70028. So there's a couple telltale signs. One has the silver lettering there on the Tokina badge. It's not the version 2. And then the stupid font that we used back then. I don't know why nobody said, hey, you guys really shouldn't use that ridiculous font. I think that was right when we first got the laser, like, we can engrave any font we want. It's amazing. But, yeah, that was a long time ago. That one's a newer one. That's got the gold. That is not ours. Oh, man. Cat can Cine lens. It's almost an exact copy of ours. Wow. That's... I mean, I'm flattered, I guess. Oh no, that's terrible. Why is the whole back of it not anodized? Did they have to trim it after they manufactured it? Because they realized they messed up? Didn't you guys have a whole bunch of them stolen out of your old shop? Yes, at our previous location, which honestly is part of the reason we ended up moving. We had a batch of, I don't even remember now, it was at least 30, maybe even 50, something like that. I can't remember the quantity, but it was a large batch and they were pretty much done, pretty much ready to go. And we had a break in and they were just in bins, in like little organizer bins, all slotted and divided nicely. And that was such a mess with insurance, because I shouldn't go into too much detail, but basically when you say, oh yeah, they stole a bunch of Tokina 11-16s, and insurance says, well, it looks like those lenses are worth $600 a piece, whatever. I said, well, yeah, but we modified them, so now they're worth, you know, 3,000 or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, sure they are. It looked really suspicious to insurance. Yeah, these are all just regular Tokinas. But yeah, if I ever find one of the like original ones, I would probably buy it. 1,500 is a bit much. I do still have my, we made a solid, not, I can't say solid, we made a gold plated version. So all of these bits that are aluminum, we had plated in gold. Just to kind of commemorate it. Anyways, I am running out of time here. Let's see if, what else would come up? No, nothing's going to come up with that. That's silly. Nobody would put that on eBay. Anyway, I think that's probably enough for today. Let's just try Duclos lens. It's all 11 to 16. It's going to be a bunch of Cine-Mod stuff. Oh, there's a nice set. 1935, 50, and 90. Who is this? Who's selling these? These are relatively new. Silver Francie? Oh, optical. Oh, that's Mark Magnarella. Okay. That's why they look so clean, because he... I don't know where he finds his stock, but they are nice. He sends us the cleanest Leica R's. I didn't even know he had an eBay store. That's good to know. So if you guys are looking for Leica R's, check out... who was the... Silver Francie. I don't know why he doesn't call his store Optical Brilliance or Mark Magnarella. Yeah, he's really good at matching and finding good ones. Anyways, what else comes up under Duclos? There's a lot of imitators. Voigtlander Nocton plus Koa Promenade. Oh, wow. It's a nice set. Yeah, pretty much everything is Cine-Mod. Ooh, there you go. Oh, I like that. Overhauled by Paul Duclos. Not Duclos lenses, just Paul Duclos. All right. That's old. Again, before we had our own caps, we would just buy and sell the area caps and put a sticker in it. There's another really old one with that ridiculous font. Canon 30-105. That looks like it has a multi-mount. That's kind of cool. Yep, that's a multi-mount. So I was really proud of that design. Those lenses just stopped selling because they were Super 35 only. What coverage does that 25 to 250 have? Super 35 full frame again. It would have been probably regular 35, not super. Is this the same lens? Just on a different listing? That's weird. I contacted Duclos to do the mount change, and they let me know this is a rare version of this lens, being a Type C, possibly for military application. Alright. Last thing I'm going to look up here. And then I'm going to call it for the day. Those are not super speeds, but okay. Those are not super speed. Maybe it is. Oh, they are. No, these are fake. Ha! That 85 is a legitimate Mark III super speed. These other ones have been rescaled. Remounted. Oh, I know what these are. These were converted to BNCR with a PL mount behind the BNCR mount. So if you look, it's kind of hard to see. Of course, they only show the 85 up close because that's the one true Mark III. But the other ones, oh, maybe that's not the BNCR. It's just a shoddy PL conversion. Anyways, these are not. They've been modified. I wonder if they actually admit to that here. These are not T1.2 either. Wow. Who is selling this? Cinema Cameras Com. cinemacameras.com. Okay. Well, it's a bit of a stretch. These look proper. I'm buying a lens right now that you and I are looking for. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a lens? What am I looking for, Phil? Did you manage to catch qualifying? I have not watched qualifying. I watched FP1 and 2. So no spoilers, please. All I saw, I don't think FP1 and 2 is spoilers, but I saw how well Lewis did, which has me concerned. Anyways, so this is another partial, this is a mixed set. So these are, if you look at the 25, 35, and 50, they are the pre-expanded scale. So they only rotate 180 degrees, and they have an aftermarket add-on iris gear. That's not the factory iris gear. The 85 right there is expanded scale, so it has a factory iris gear. And the 18, I assume that's the 18. Yeah, it is. That is also an expanded scale with a factory iris gear. So this is a mixed set. But I don't know if they actually know. Oh, look at that. All recently serviced at Duclos. Except the 85, which is due for some work. See, this really bothers me. Cost estimate was $5,000. Fully functioning, but focus ring needs blah, 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 blah. There's no context there. What if that customer said, hey, I want to get my lens overhauled, and then I want the front element replaced and repolished, and we quote them some super high number, and then they just blurt this out, and everyone thinks that we're charging 10 grand for an overhaul, whatever. So this listing says Mark II. Technically, they are all Mark II. It just doesn't specify that some are non-expanded and some are expanded scales. something in the 200. What are you buying, Phil? This was Zeiss's attempt at capitalizing on the super speed name. They re-released. Okay, some more quick backstory here because I do need to go. The original compact primes, before they were called CP2s, the compact primes were the 35-50-85. They were a fixed PL mount, not interchangeable, and they were T1.5. And then people said, oh, we want more lenses, we want a full set, and the aperture has to match. So instead of designing something to match, they re-released those lenses as CP2, and they limited the aperture on the 35, 50, and 85 to T2.1 so that it matched the rest of the set. And then they re-released again the CP2 super speeds. So you had to pay more to get back that T1.5 aperture. So that was kind of shitty, but I could see where that would come from. Oh, here we go. Zeiss Contax super speed, is that what this is going to be? What the hell? Yep, someone hacked up I don't even know what this is, a Zeiss medium format lens or something. Oh, it's a shitty Russian lens. They're calling it a super speed. Yeah, no, that's not a super speed. Sorry, UKR Photo Goods. That is not a super speed. .5 Mark III. Let's see if they're telling the truth. They are. Wow. That's kind of cool, actually. Here we go. Optons. So a lot of people get confused with the Opton name. It's an East-West Germany thing when they couldn't use the Zeiss name, but they were still allowed to use the same designs. So they were called Opton, and they were made in Oberkochen, which is where Zeiss is even today. But they are exactly the same as Zeiss. These were B speeds, I think. I forgot what it was. Yeah, these were B mount converted to PL mount. And those front rings are funkyphotogroup.com. Okay. Oh, that's the seller. Who is this? Oh wow, they got a lot of rehoused stuff. A lot of Russian stuff. Anyway. 18 to 90? No, this is not a super speed at all. What the heck? Alright, I'm not even going to bother with that one. Mark III. That is a very clean, except for that impact damage on the iris. Anyway. That looks nice. Alright, I'm going to call it there then. Let's get rid of Firefox here. Get my keyboard out of the way. You don't need to see that. Yeah, we only did 2 lenses, but we're easing back into the mod stream. So thank you all once again for rejoining. Oh, I should I should make the fish cam my outro. Let's do this. I think you guys can still hear me. Is that going to show up at all? Barely. We'll just put that there. And I'll leave that running. All right. Enjoy the fish, and I will see you all next weekend. Have a good rest of your weekend.